Hello friends, welcome you all once again in our own channel Vriha Krishna Book Summary. Friends, we have started a book series called Dying to Be Me. It is written by Anita Moorjani. In this book, author shares her near-death experience. Through this book, she wants to give us a message. We have completed first 4 chapters of this book. And in this episode, we are starting chapter 5, which is Diagnosis of Fear. Let's start. As the year passed, Danny and I built our life together. He left the family business to start a career in marketing and sales for a multinational organization. And then we moved out of his bachelor pad in the heart of the city and into a lovely apartment in a quiet suburb of Hong Kong. We adopted a dog whom we named Cosmo. Not long after I got married, my brother decided to leave Hong Kong and start up a new business in India because there was a major recession in our city and he saw an opportunity in India. So he and his wife Mona and their toddler son Shan all moved there. And my mother followed them shortly thereafter. I missed them all terribly because I had never lived in a different country from my family. To make matters worse, because of the recession, I lost job at the French company since sales had gone down dramatically. This upset me as it came unexpectedly and added to the stress and loneliness of my family leaving Hong Kong. During that period, I also often felt pressure by our community and my peers to have a child, although at that time I was more interested in working, traveling and exploring the world. I just didn't feel ready to have kids, but in my culture, the moment you got married, you were expected to produce children. I often found myself torn between external expectations and what I really wanted to do, and I sometimes felt almost inadequate among my friends for not wanting the same things they did, especially because of my desire to delay having children. During the summers of 2001, my best friend Sony was diagnosed with cancer, and the news shocked me. Then, within a few months of Sony's diagnosis, we received news that Danny's brother-in-law had been diagnosed with an aggressive form of cancer. This news instilled a deep fear in me because both of them were close to my age. I began researching everything I could about cancer and its causes. Initially, I started doing this in the hope of helping because I wanted to be there for Sony to help her fight. But I found that the more I read about the disease, the more I was afraid of everything that could potentially cause it. I started to believe that everything created cancer: pesticides, microwaves, preservatives, genetically modified foods, sunshine, air pollution, plastic food containers, mobile phones and so on. This progressed until eventually I started to fear life itself. April 26, 2002 is a day neither Danny nor I will forget easily. Hesitantly, we walk into the doctor's office as though entering a house of death. A few days earlier, I found a lump on my left shoulder just above the collarbone. Over the previous few months, I had been tearfully visiting my friend Soni as she lay dying in the hospital. In terror and sorrow, I watched her body being eaten alive inch by inch, consumed by a beast that refused to be tamed, even by the most advanced medical science available. The doctor was very gentle and kind as he broke the news. "You have lymphoma, which is a form of cancer." His voice came to me as though he were underwater. My eyes glazed over and rested on the view from the clinic window. Outside, nothing had changed. The sun continued its journey, slowly setting behind the harbor. The skyscrapers glowed in muted hues of orange and amber. People went on their way to the laughter and joy of happy hour. Yet learning the reality of what was happening within me had instantaneously changed my whole world. Although my mind was far away and I had so many questions, Danny had convinced me to go out on a date and leave the world behind. So when we returned home, I got into my favorite collar red dress. As I stood there all dressed up, my husband put his arms around me and said, "Don't be scared. We will get through this together." We dined under the stars at my favorite outdoor restaurant, right by the Stanley Bay waterfront on the south side of Hong Kong Island. The moon shone in its glorious fullness, while a gentle sea breeze fluttered through the air. The soft sounds of waves from the nearby ocean complemented the music from the band. To ensure a perfect night, we tipped the band so that they stay by us for the longest time, performing my favorite songs. The musician played and we forgot about the world beyond our table. I was angry at the cruel joke we call life. I couldn't understand what it was all for. It seemed as though we lived for a few years, we learned from our struggles, and finally, when we got the hangs of things, we ended up thrown on a fire in a wooden box. Surely it wasn't supposed to happen so soon. It all seemed so meaningless, somehow so pointless. So friends, that's all for the chapter 5 called Diagnosis of Fear of this book series called Dying to Be Me. If you want to listen more chapters from this book, then please do subscribe, share, like my videos, my channel. We will meet again with next chapter. See you.